The air in our kitchen felt too thin, like I'd forgotten how to breathe. I stood there, clutching Mike's phone, staring at the photo of my wife, Emily, smiling in a way I hadn't seen in months. Her hair spilled over one shoulder, her eyes bright with a secret I didn't know. The timestamp read 3 weeks ago. 3 weeks ago, when she'd told me she was working late. My thumb hovered over the screen, trembling, as the weight of what I'd found sank into my chest like a stone. I'd borrowed Mike's phone to call my own, misplaced somewhere in the house after a long day. Mike, my coworker, my friend of 10 years, had handed it over with a casual grin before stepping out to grab coffee. I wasn't looking for anything, just my number and his contacts. But there it was, nestled among his photos. Emily, radiant, in a dress I didn't recognize, in a place I didn't know. My pulse roared in my ears, drowning out the hum of the fridge. The front door clicked open, and Emily's voice floated in, soft and familiar. "David? You home?" Her footsteps padded across the hardwood, each one tightening the knot in my gut. I set the phone down on the counter, screen still glowing with her face, and turned to meet her eyes. She froze in the doorway, her purse slipping slightly in her grip. Her gaze flicked to the phone, then back to me, and in that split second, I saw it, a flicker of guilt, sharp as a blade. "Why is your picture on his phone?" I asked, my voice low, barely holding together. She went silent. Not a word, not a breath. Just her eyes wide and searching, like a deer caught in headlights. The silence stretched, heavy, suffocating. I wanted her to laugh it off, to explain it away with some innocent story I could cling to. But she just stood there, lips parted, as if the truth was too big to fit through them. My heart pounded, each beat a question. How long? Why him? What did I miss? We'd been married 7 years, Emily and I. 7 years of late-night talks, shared dreams, and quiet mornings like this one, where she'd hum softly while brewing coffee. But there'd been cracks lately, ones I'd tried to ignore. She'd been distant, her smiles fleeting, her phone always face down. I'd told myself it was stress, her new role at work, the long hours. I'd rationalized the late nights, the sudden weekend errands, the way she'd flinch when I touched her unexpectedly. She's just tired, I'd thought. We're just in a rough patch. Now, standing in our kitchen, those excuses crumbled like ash. I remembered Mike's easy laugh at the office, the way he'd linger when Emily stopped by to drop off my lunch. "Good to see you, Em," he'd say, his voice too warm, his eyes too bright. I'd brushed it off. Mike was charming, always had been. But now those moments replayed in my mind, tinted with a sickening clarity. "Say something." I pressed, my voice cracking. The phone lay between us like evidence in a trial. Emily's eyes darted to it again, and she swallowed hard, her throat bobbing. I don't know what to say, David." Her voice was barely a whisper, fragile, like she was afraid of breaking something. Me maybe. Or herself. "You don't know?" I stepped closer, my hands shaking. "That's you, Emily. On his phone. Smiling like you're happy. Happier than you've been with me in months. So tell me why." Her lips trembled, and she looked away, her gaze settling on the window above the sink. Outside, the maple tree swayed in the autumn breeze, its leaves a riot of red and gold. We'd planted that tree together, a symbol of our new life in this house. Now it felt like a mockery. "It's not what you think," she said finally, her voice unsteady. "It's complicated. Complicated." The word tasted bitter. "Don't give me that. Tell me the truth, Emily. Are you with him?" Her silence was louder than any confession. My chest tightened, and I felt the world tilt, like I was falling through the floor. I wanted to scream, to shake her, to demand answers. But all I could do was stand there, staring at the woman I loved, the woman who was slipping away. The next hour was a blur. She sat at the kitchen table, hands clasped tightly, while I paced, my questions spilling out like blood from a wound. How long has this been going on? When did it start? Why him, Emily? Why Mike? Each word was a plea, a desperate attempt to understand how our life, our love, had unraveled. She told me haltingly, her voice breaking. It started 6 months ago, at a company event I couldn't attend. Mike had been there, charming as always, and they talked. Just talked, she said at first. But then there were texts, late-night calls, moments stolen in corners of their lives. She swore it hadn't gone far. Nothing physical, she insisted, her eyes pleading for me to believe her. But the way she described their connection, the way her voice softened when she said his name, cut deeper than any betrayal of the body could. I was lonely, David, she said, tears streaming down her cheeks. You were always working, always distracted. I felt invisible. Invisible. I stopped pacing, my voice rising. I was working for us. For our future. You think I didn't feel alone too? But I didn't run to someone else. Her sob broke the air, raw and jagged. I didn't mean for it to happen. I love you, David. I do. I got lost. I wanted to believe her. God, I wanted to. But the image of her on Mike's phone burned in my mind. A wound that wouldn't stop bleeding. I sank into the chair across from her, my hands gripping the table's edge. The wood was cool under my fingers, grounding me in a world that felt like it was slipping away. The days that followed were a slow torture. I couldn't look at her without seeing Mike's phone, without hearing her excuses. We moved through the house like ghosts, speaking only when necessary, our words clipped and careful. I kept Mike's phone, unable to delete the photo, as if holding on to it would somehow make sense of the chaos in my heart. I confronted Mike at work, my voice low to avoid a scene. His face paled, but he didn't deny it. It's not what you think, man, he said, echoing Emily's words. We're just friends. But his eyes betrayed him, flickering with something too close to shame. I wanted to hate them both, to let anger consume the pain. But love is a stubborn thing, clinging even when it's broken. I still saw the Emily I'd married. The woman who'd laughed with me under the stars, who'd held my hand through my father's funeral. I saw her in the way she stirred her coffee, in the way she tucked her hair behind her ear. And it killed me. One night, unable to sleep, I sat in the dark, scrolling through old photos on my phone. Us at the beach, her smile wide and unguarded. Us on our wedding day, her eyes locked on mine like I was her whole world. I stopped on one from last year, a candid shot of her laughing in our backyard, the sunlight catching her hair. I realized I hadn't seen her laugh like that in months. Then I saw it, a notification on my phone, a text from an unknown number. Check your email, David. I'm sorry. My heart stopped. I opened my inbox and there it was, an email from Mike sent minutes ago. No subject. Just a single line. She's not who you think she is. Attached was a screenshot of texts between him and Emily. Not the innocent messages she'd described, but words that seared my soul. I can't stop thinking about you. I wish I could leave him. I love you, Mike. The timestamp was 2 days ago. I sat there, the phone trembling in my hand, as the truth crashed over me like a wave. Emily hadn't just gotten lost. She'd chosen to walk away. The woman I loved was gone, replaced by a stranger who'd been lying to my face. And yet, even now, my heart ached for her, for us. I looked toward our bedroom, where she slept, unaware of the storm about to break. The question wasn't whether I could forgive her. It was whether I could survive her.